Miss Chance was 96 here with another review. This time it is of the Hot Toys Iron Man Mark VII from the Avengers series. And yeah, so here's the box. Overall, it looks really cool. I love the big picture of the Mark VII, and then with that kind of like dotted kind of look. Looks fantastic. I'm a big fan of how they do all their boxes, as well as on the side here, you do get a little symbol that that has to do with the character. This time it's the arc reactor. It's kind of like the triangle piece arc reactor, but still very nice. And just so that I can give you a grand view of all the boxes that I own, here we go. Alright, here's a view of all the boxes that I own. Loki, Captain America, the Mark VII, Hawkeye, and Black Widow. I really love how they all look together, and if you display the boxes with the figures, or even if you just have the boxes on a shelf, they will look very nice because they are really well detailed. I really love the design of them, and overall looks fantastic. I cannot wait to see the Jatari box when they do it. I really hope that they do the Jatari box in the same style as this. I'm sure they will, and I'll be excited to get that one. So the boxes all look great. Let's go over the figure. Alright, so here's the Mark VII. As you can see, it looks beautiful. Really do love the overall just grand look of the item. Very shiny, very metallic and great looking. I love this paint. It's a very glossy metallic red, which just really looks awesome. Gives it an extremely like new feeling, which is exactly how it was in the armor. We got to see him put it on for the first time, so it would of course have this very shiny, very glossy type of look, which is awesome. Really do love it. I love how the chest area is really like kind of big and bulky, and then it kind of slims down to the waist here. Looks very nice. I love just the architecture in this design of the suit. I think that it's just such a neat looking suit, extremely heroic, and at the same time making functional parts, but still making them look like a perfect superhero type of thing. Really loving it. Looks fantastic. On the back here, the same level of detail goes on. He does have some panels. You can move these up as kind of like flaps. Looks good for like if you do flight poses. Looks very nice. And they can be pushed down extremely easy. They're just on a simple hinge. On this side though, this panel does come up to reveal the button. Of course the button is just right here, but instead of having to lift the whole panel up each and every time, you can just lift this little piece up so that you can just switch the arc reactor on the chest on, which is very nice. Move it over to the front. As you can see, very cool. I just loving the design of the suit. It's of course all plastic, but then in the elbows there is some rubber to allow you to bend the elbow. I was thinking that it would actually kind of hinder the arms a little bit, and before I got the figure, but now having the figure, it really does not hinder the elbow articulation at all, which is great. I really do love that, and just an overall fantastic design up on the chest and arm area. Going down some more, you can see the hands. These hands that are in are all articulated fingers, which is great for maximum poseability. He does have these arm kind of guards, but they do come with separate ones so that you can do the arm repulsor blast. So that's extremely nice. I like the thighs here. There's actually 3 different thigh parts that you can switch these out for, which is nice. And the legs are just really cool. I love how the legs they're like bent like a little bit like out like this. I love that design. Just looks really great. There are some like scuffing and scratching on the metal here, just to make it look like, you know, as he's walking he's scratching the paint a little bit, which looks great though. I really do love it, and it's extremely accurate. Look at that, very cool. I just really love the look of this armor. They did a wonderful job sculpting the armor itself, and just looks really quite incredible. The Mark VII, of course, comes with a standard Hot Toys base. As you can see, just the standard base. You do have the Avengers logo right there. The nameplate doesn't say Iron Man, just says Mark VII. And then, of course, you do have the adjustable cradle. You know, it's okay. It doesn't really help support him too much. I would have definitely liked another base that could be also used for like flight poses. But still, it's fine, and it does look really nice with the others because they all have that same type of base. All of the Avengers, so they do kind of look cool together with the base. So after the Mark VII uses his leg missiles to blow up the Leviathan from the inside, of course the silver parts on his legs do kind of fly off, so then it's left with just the gold look, and they do have the panel so that you can place it and make it just like the gold look. I think it looks pretty nice. You've got some scratches and some dings in there. Very subtle, but still very well done. You can totally see it and totally notice it. And it's a very unnecessary piece because nobody's going to actually use it. You know, everybody's going to display them with the silver parts, but I do think it does look awesome. The Mark VII, of course, has many interchangeable parts. One of these is, of course, the forearm. You can just take out the forearm piece that was in it before and replace it with like an open forearm piece that's like got a missile in it. He uses this, I think, twice. One is when he blows up the Leviathan after Hulk punches it, and then I believe he uses it again, but I just can't remember precisely. And then here he does have the kind of arc reactor kind of blast from the hand, looking really awesome. I absolutely love this. It totally looks like Iron Man, and this is a new feature for the suit. Typically with the Hot Toys, you can't get the perfectly look like this, but they did replace it so that the hand has the part where you put in the hand is like tilted, as well as this piece they do have so that it's bended, so that you can just replace it for like a bended one, which is great. Just to show you the light up feature, it's just on the bottom of the bicep right here, and it just plugs on. As you can see, here's the light. It's stronger than this. I just have two large lights shining on it, so it doesn't look that great. But when I go over all the lights, I will show them in darkness, just so that you can see how to turn on all these lights. So that's how you turn on the arms. To turn on the chest, you just open this little piece and then switch that on, and then move it around. You've got the chest on, and then the head. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take it off from the top, because the bottom has a little kind of tab that has to tab into the bottom, so you want to be careful taking that on and off. Just turn it on, sorry, and then just put it in from the bottom first, and then just switching on both of these lights. Here they all are, just so that you can get a grand look. Here it all looks great, and in basically pure darkness. Here's the lights, incredible. Really impressed in how bright they shine. They just look really, really awesome. Look at that, they like shine spotlights. It really looks great. The only thing is it lights up the bottom of the arms or hands red, you know, which is obviously not accurate. I wish that they could have put a stronger coat of red on so that the light wouldn't kind of like bleed through the hand. But hey, it still looks fine. I don't blame them. And overall, it just looks incredible. He looks so awesome with all these lights on, just like this. Look at that. So cool, so impressive, and just so that you can see the absolute bare-boned Iron Man, here he is with all the removable parts off, and just so that you can take a look. As you can see, the chest is very nicely detailed. Really loving this. They totally did not need to add this detail, but they did, which is great. The face, not too much to see there. Of course, here is the on and off switch so that you can switch on the lights and just put his face mask on, so then he has the light up lights. Everything's just very bare, of course. As you can see, here it is. You can see all the way through him as well, and you can see the wires and everything. There are little like mechanical details painted, which is really nice, and there are a lot of poses that you can pose him in that show that detail, so it is good that they added that. And the thigh pieces, of course, off. This is how they look. So yeah, so just thought it would be pretty interesting for you guys just to see the bare-boned Iron Man figure if you remove all the parts. Alright, here's Iron Man with his battle damage parts, and just to go over them really quick. As you can see in the chest, you've got some awesome battle damage there. I love the just like the shredded chest kind of look around the arc reactor. Looks really great. Of course, the bulk of the damage is towards the center and everything. Just get it closer so you can get the best look. Very awesome, but there are some scuffs and everything up here, which is great. It's really well done, not overdone, but done just enough that it's definitely battle damage, which is awesome. The faceplate doesn't have too much battle damage, obviously, because, you know, they want Iron Man to look heroic. He can't have a big scar going down his face, but he still should have some battle damage, and that's why you have some of the gold paint chipping to reveal kind of like the silver. Very nice, just around the edges and everything. It's really well done, not overpowering, but not so little that it's really unnoticeable, because you definitely can see it. And then we've got his shoulder pad missiles. I really like this when they started the battle and when he flew up into the sky and took on the Jatari. I love that his shoulder panels opened and there was just a bunch of missiles in there and he just shot them all off, looking really spectacular. Well detailed. You can see just every little piece of it and everything, which is great. It does of course have the operating flaps on the back, because of course the front flaps are connected to these shoulder pads, so you can still see them. The battle damage arms on the shoulders, they look great. You've got some nice battle damage there. See if we can focus just on the shoulder. There you go. As you can see, you've got some nice battle damage. I definitely like that a lot. The only other thing is that there's like no other battle damage. I would have liked to see some other battle damage on the arms. I mean, there's a bit of scuffs just like on this panel, but it's very light, very small, and you really can't see it. And then on his hand down here, you can see a little bit more of the scuffing, and but there's nothing like too crazy as far as battle damage other than on the shoulder. So I would have liked to see a little bit more battle damage on the arm. Not too bad though. The battle damage arms do have the kind of laser. I don't know what he calls those, but the laser type things that he used at the end of Iron Man 2 and he used twice in Avengers. They are stuck on, so you can't remove them. I would have liked if you could remove them. Not the end of the world, but just I find it interesting that they didn't give you the option to remove them. Wouldn't have expected that, but that's okay. The thigh pads here is with the thigh missiles, which is really neat. That's when he flies into the Leviathan and blows it up from the inside, and those just look really awesome. I really like how it looks like the panels split up into 3 different parts and to reveal the missiles, and then he goes and shoots them off. So the battle damage look is great. I am absolutely loving the design in the battle damage. You know, other than I would have liked a couple more scuffs in the arms and maybe like a removable kind of calf piece for the leg or something, just to give it a little bit more battle damage. But I do think that where it has battle damage, it has it superbly done and really nice. I love the shoulder and leg missiles as well. They give a nice touch to the figure, and it is nice that they didn't just have you have to replace the shoulder panels and then have to like replace one of these panels or something. They gave you 2 totally new arms that are battle damage, which is awesome. So I do like that. Battle damage is great. Alright, now to talk about the Tony Stark head sculpt. Overall, pretty cool. When I saw the production pictures, it looked great. When people started getting in person and when we saw more in-person looks at it at, you know, like toy fairs and everything, it didn't look that fantastic. Getting it in person, I do like it a lot more, though. As you can see, it looks really cool. I think, you know, kind of like basically from the front, but a little bit to the side makes it look probably the best. And overall, it's a very nice head sculpt. I never dreamed of displaying him with the Tony Stark head sculpt when I got this figure, but after having the head sculpt in, I'm tempted to do so. So I really do love the way that this looks. The sculpting's pretty good. The hair's a bit light. It's more of like a grayish black, you know, rather than a darker brown. And so I think that it should be just a tad bit darker, at least from what I've seen. It's a little light. But overall, the sculpting is beautiful. I love the eyes, and he just looks really awesome. Plus, it is incredibly easy to change out the Iron Man and Tony Stark head sculpt. It just pops right in and out, and it's not like it's a struggle to pop it in or to take it out. It goes really easy, so you don't have to worry about, you know, potentially, you know, pulling too hard that you'll break either the figure or the head or anything like that. There's no worries there. I am excited to compare him with the Tony Stark head sculpt from the Tony Stark Hot Toys figure that's coming out in a month or two. So I will definitely do that when I get that figure. But for now, this is a really nice Tony Stark head sculpt. And even if you're not going to use it for the Mark VII, you can definitely do some customs with it, because overall it's pretty nice. Alright, now to go over articulation. Articulation is quite stunning with this figure. First of all, the head does look down this far, which is a decent amount, and it does go side to side, of course. The bottom of the neck does have a bit of a hinge articulation, but then the top of the neck is on a full ball joint. Took off the face panel, sorry. So that he can totally look up, totally just do like a fight pose. Really quite incredible, and I'm loving this head articulation. It's really great. He's got ball hinge shoulders with a bicep swivel, double hinge elbows with the rubber joint, of course. He's got ball jointed wrists, which seem to work really well with the fists and the repulsor hands, but with the regular articulated finger hands, it doesn't have so much movement, I've noticed. This panel can swivel as well as this arm, and then the hand does swivel, of course. And individually articulated finger joints. You've got 3 joints for the 4 main fingers, and then for the thumb you have 2 joints. Really well done. At first glance, and when you first get it, it doesn't seem like the waist or chest or anything has articulation, but if you do kind of just lift this up, there you go, it kind of like pops out of place, and then he does have a bit of articulation to get a little bit more movement in there. And yeah, see, yeah, you can do it that much, so that he does have a decent amount of articulation, which is great. And then it just pops in place so that it doesn't move anymore. A really nice way to hide the joints and to actually make these panels work, which is super cool. Thighs have decent articulation. They go out about this far, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it's really all you need. It goes in and out a decent amount, not too much though. Would have liked some type of bicep swivel, or sorry, thigh swivel, so that you can swivel the thigh a little bit more, but that's okay. You've got double jointed knees. The knees are plastic. They are not rubber like the elbows. And then you've got ball jointed ankles with like an extra hinge right here, and these panels have like articulation and everything. Some other panels have articulation, like the shoulder panels has, some articulation up here and then also down here, and they really, you might have to do some manipulating to get them out of your way, but they don't hinder you, so you might just have to work with moving them the right way when you're moving the arm, but they still won't hinder your articulation, which is great. So he has a very superb articulation. Alright, here's an Avenger size comparison. As you can see, we've got the Mark VII here with Hawkeye, Black Widow, and Captain America, all of them in the Avenger version. And yeah, so as you can see, he is quite tall. He is the tallest out of all of them. Captain America is a really tall figure, and Iron Man is taller than Captain America. He's just taller than him by a smidge, though. He's not much taller. He's definitely taller than Hawkeye, and by far taller than Black Widow. Overall, I think it's a great size. I think that even if in real life Robert Downey Jr. wouldn't be as tall as he's portrayed here, he does have the middle, bottom of the feet, so that gives him a little bit more height. And then I'm sure when they digitally do him, they make him a bit more taller, because they have to make him super heroic and everything. So that's why I think that he is a little bit taller than he probably would be in real life standing next to these actors. But I think it looks terrific, and overall they all look fantastic together. Alright, here's a size comparison with the Mark VII with other Iron Man Hot Toys figures. You've got the Mark I 2.0, and then Ironmonger, of course. He's in pretty good scale. He's a decent amount taller than the Mark I, and none of them are on bases, just so you know. So he's about almost a head taller than the Mark I, and quite a bit shorter than the Ironmonger. I think he's in pretty great scale, and overall, looks very cool. If you have the Mark I and the Mark VII in the Hall of Armor, they should look very nice and very accurate as well. So they both look great. Overall, this Avengers Iron Man Mark VII is a superb figure, one of my all-time favorite Hot Toys at the moment. Just incredibly well done, tons of different options for display, and all of them just better than the next. I really am impressed with all of the different ways that you can display him, battle damage, Tony Stark head completely clean, it's so awesome. I love all the stuff that he comes with. I cannot think of one thing that I would have liked to see him come with that he doesn't already come with, and and just an incredibly awesome figure. One of my favorite armors as well, and definitely the armor from the heroic Avengers, and that just makes it even better. So this is definitely one that you're gonna have to get if you're a big Hot Toys or Iron Man fan, because it is quite superb. Big thanks to Toys210 for helping me acquire this figure. Couldn't have done it without him, so thanks so much. And this is a great figure. Highly recommend that you pick this up if you can. Even if you have to spend some of the higher prices on eBay, it's still an amazing figure and definitely one for your Iron Man collection. I absolutely love it. Cannot wait to get the Tony Stark to display this Mark VII right behind him. And overall, a fantastic figure. Highly recommended by me. Thank you for watching.